Breaking down the myths. Chair-based exercise is not easy exercise. Hi, I'm Hayley from Parallel Coaching, and in today's video, we're going to break down some key myths and misconceptions that exist around exercise, easy exercise, and chair-based exercise. So the idea is that there's so many different misconceptions that exist that most people make generalizations about the mode of exercise and instead avoid it or think that it's not appropriate to them. So what we're going to explore today is breaking down some of those myths about exercise so that you can understand exactly what it is and why we do it, but then also how this relates to chair-based exercise and the fact that it's not an easy exercise. It's not just done as something that is easy and therefore potentially pointless. So first of all, let's explore exercise itself. It's not just about getting sweaty, jumping around lots and lifting heavy resistance machines. There's actually a lot more to it. And the idea with exercise is that we can get an adaptation on our physiology. It's our anatomy and our physiology gets an adaptation as a result of the demand that we put on this. And this is called the SAID principle. The SAID principle is an acronym SAID, and this stands for specific adaptation to an imposed demand. Now, essentially, it means if I put a demand on my body, then my anatomy and my physiology will adapt so that I get better at doing that same demand next time. This makes it easier, it prevents injury, and it also is our progression. And our progression is us getting healthier, fitter, leaner, us progressing our strength, our coordination. All these things are the reasons why we exercise. And it's about this adaptation that happens to our body. Now, that adaptation only occurs if we do exercise that challenges us. Now, that challenge could be as far as absolute overload, or that challenge could just be a small feeling of burning with several reps in reserve. But what is important is that it is an achievement of challenge. If I do something that is super light and super straightforward that I could do 20, 30, 40, 50 times, I don't actually challenge the body. And in response, that's then easy. If that's easy, I'm not going to get an adaptation in the body. And essentially, the exercise becomes kind of pointless because we're not getting the adaptation that we were originally looking for. So it's not that the mode makes a difference, it's that the intensity and the achievement of challenge makes the difference. So I hope you're still with me. So chair-based exercise is a mode, just the same as you could go for a spin class or you could go for a run. Both of those are modes that challenge your cardiovascular fitness. Both will allow you to progress your cardiovascular fitness, and as long as you are challenged, it will do that. It will progress your VO2 max. If you're not challenged, it won't. So both are modes. The same with chair-based exercise. It's just another mode on top. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It means that you need to now change those intensities, change the variables to get to something that is relevant for the client that we have in front of us. So hopefully that's laid out some of those misconceptions. Let's dive into these a little bit deeper so you can now understand a little bit more about the benefits of why chair-based exercise isn't just easy exercise, but actually the benefits that sit in place for your clients and for you as an instructor as well. So the first one is that it's a whole body approach. Now, the big misconception for chair-based exercise is that the legs do nothing and the upper body does everything. And then it basically just becomes an upper body session. So you can do a bicep curl and a tricep extension, and that you can do some lateral raises and shoulder presses. But all of those things you could do in a gym environment with dumbbells anyway. So those aren't necessarily what I would class as adaptations for chair-based exercises, just sitting down doing exercises that you could do standing or using a weights bench. Instead, you want to think about how you change the variables to really challenge the legs. Can you use resistance bands? And can you create a pressing action, a lifting action, a leg extension, a version of adduction and abduction? All these things can really challenge around the legs. And also, chair-based exercise isn't just about the seated work with no weight bearing on the legs. It's also about being able to learn how to transfer and doing sit to stand work, whereby you're starting to progress the strength in the body. And that is really challenging. This isn't something that is easy for the clients that are going to be doing it, because they're actually starting to learn how to stand and improve their function. Now, that's going to have a huge toll on the body. It's going to create a fantastic adaptation to their anatomy and physiology so they can go about and be more functional in their day-to-day life. So that's number one, is that it is actually a whole body approach. It's not upper body only. Number two is that it's low impact, and this is a good thing. So because you're seated, it's low or no impact, because we're not up and down, we've not got body weight going through our joints of our lower body, but we're also not having impact in terms of this movement through our joints in the lower body. And they can take a serious beating, even in things like walking for some clients. So instead, seated actually removes that impact, but allows for mobility, allows for activation around the synovial joint, allows for that cushioning to take place, and allows us to start strengthening around the joints, which means they can get much more out of their day-to-day activities without putting lots of strain on them. This means it's great if someone's got arthritis, if somebody has injuries or are rehabbing after an injury. All of these things mean that we can actually start working with more clients in a way that is going to be safer around their lower body joints, and also make sure that they are safe and effective in their exercise. So that's number two. Number three is about intensity. So as I said earlier, intensity is relevant to how you're performing each exercise. It's not about the mode. You could do a spin class that is really, really easy because we've got it set on a low level and we're going really slowly, or you could do a spin class that is really, really hard with maximum heart rates. The thing that changed was the variables. The same applies with the chair-based exercise. I could do some marching exercises or some punching exercises or some speed ball, and in doing so, I basically could either reach RPE 1 or 2, or I could reach RPE 10 if I really wanted to. But intensity is the thing that allows for the adaptation to happen. It's not about the exercise itself. So that's the point number three, is all about intensity. It is individual to the person doing it. And the chances are, if your client is already requesting seated exercise, chances are that they're not used to progressing or challenging their body in a standing motion. So intensity is going to need to be adapted for what they're able to do. So it's perfect to start off simple and build it up. And even if you don't find it challenging, that person that is doing it could well find this challenging enough to get an adaptation. Point number four is that it's inclusive. Most people think chair-based exercise, oh, it's only for old people or disabled clients. And actually that's not the case. Yes, it's great for them, but it's actually perfect for so many clients. Maybe they've got a risk of falling over, so they need to go through falls prevention, and actually their balance isn't very good. Maybe they are post-injury. Maybe they've got a sprained ankle. Maybe they actually just need to take it easier and build their confidence in a gym environment or in a particular exercise space. Or maybe they need to do exercise that is appropriate for them at home, that they can do with the things that they've got at home. Maybe it's a class that they want to be part of. All these things mean that actually it's not just great for disabled clients and older clients. That's fantastic. And yes, it will be appropriate. But there's many other people that will benefit from chair-based exercise. And it's not that it is easy, it's that it's appropriate for lots of different people, because there's still so many variables we can change. So that's the 4 points I wanted to share with you about the misconceptions of chair-based exercise. There's some huge benefits to chair-based exercise, especially as a starting point for a lot of clients. And so often I'll see a beginner client being thrown into the gym, expecting to do things on the cross trainer, on the bike, get on resistance machines, and either they're too large to effectively fit in them, maybe they can't coordinate their actions properly. But being a beginner, they need to start with something more simple, in which case chair-based exercise is a great way in. And a lot of people have a misconception that it's not for them because it's been branded as something for older adults to do. And I want you to break that down that misconception, and understand that it's not about being in a point whereby you're finding exercise easy or you're making it super easy. It's about adapting the exercise relevant for the client you have in front of you. And sometimes the best option for that is to take it to a chair, do seated exercise, or exercises that are supported using the back of the chair. If you are interested in finding out much more about chair-based exercise, then please do click the link that is alongside this video. We're in the process of filming and making and launching our new chair-based exercise course, which is going to be super excited. I'm really excited to bring it to you. The idea here is that it's an online CPD course. So wherever you are and whatever your time constraints, you're able to work your way through the course in your own time. And this is something that you can add on if you're already a fitness professional of some sort, whether that's level 2 gym, level 2 exercise to music, group training, Pilates, yoga, it doesn't matter. It's going to help you expand your exercise library massively and also help you with planning, confidence and knowledge so you can start working with these clients safely and effectively. If you do have any takeaways from today's session, please do drop them in the comments below or message us so that I can hear what your big takeaway has been from today. And also, I would love to hear from you if you're out there starting to work with clients from a chair-based exercise point of view. I love seeing all your photos and tagging us in, so please make sure you do that. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next training and have a lovely day ahead. Take care.